we were stood very close to that because we had the luxury of a nice fence there. And that's kind of the point I want to get. That's why I'm almost fascinated but scared at the same time about a lot of the places we visit with regards to the tunnels, because of the human geography and the way that people interacted with it and tried to carve their way through the landscape. The dangers that they would go to just to do that, and clearly lives were lost here, their shaft there, and the countless other ones along this stretch of Canal Tunnel. Waking up in the morning not knowing that you're going to make it through the day because yesterday your mate died, or last week your other mate died in the tunnel. It scares me and fascinates me, and that's why I love sort of trying to uncover some of this history and maybe do a little bit of justice to the lives that were lost and the people that worked because they knew nothing else. This is what they did. They worked here down in the tunnels, down on the shaft face, and then they went down to the tunnel at the end of the day and they spent the money, got drunk, and that probably kept them going through their lives. It's a real, it's good to know that we do things right nowadays, clearly, but it doesn't take much to put into your imagination what was. Good morning everybody, welcome to another video. Today's video is slightly different from the norm, but we are back outside because we're exploring in a very safe and sensible way. Hooray! Today's video is about this, which is a 231-year-old abandoned canal, built 1789 to join the Thames on the eastern side of England to the Severn on the western side of England. A lot still to see, a heck of a lot in store for today's video, so stay tuned and enjoy. So you join us now just adjacent to Critlade. So this is as east as we're going to get. There's not a huge amount to see that way as far as we know, and you join us on the towpath. We assume that here there's like an original masonry wall alongside. You join us on the towpath just to the northwest of Critlade, and we are looking for, I think, Latin locks and Latin basin, which is where, is it the North Wiltshire Canal?
Yes, North Wilkes Canal. Where
the North Wilkes Canal joined onto this canal, the Thames and Severn. But we think we found the Latin junction, let's call it. I'm not sure if that's exactly what it was called, because ahead of us here is a big old, of course it's a basin, it's not a basin but it's a junction. So you've got that way towards the Thames, that way towards the River Severn, back the way we've been from, and here, right here, is a junction for the North Wiltshire Canal. North Wiltshire Canal?
North Wilkes, yeah.
North Wilkes Canal. Right, so I assume what we're stood on right here is a bridge which went over the top of the North Wilkes Canal, because it's adjacent to the actual canal we're looking at today. And if I turn the camera around in this direction, you can see the Latin basin. Okay, we're at Siddington.
Yes, that sounds about right.
Yeah. Right. Interesting. Rebecca, you're looking like you're going to a wedding today. Looking very smart.
As chosen by Twitter and
you did a poll,
Instagram.
didn't you?
Yep.
That's very true. Right, Siddington locks and bridges and all sorts. So there's a whole plethora of things up here. So we're now inside a 231-year-old lock. Wow, I feel spoilt today. already in this early part of the journey I feel completely spoilt. 15 feet down at the bottom of an abandoned lock, built 231 years ago, 1789. Loads of questions, but a few obvious answers. Obviously they house the locks here, or certainly there. There and there, and there's some old wood there. How did I not see that? Look at that. I assume an original timber, or what they've replaced maybe as it went on. There's a hole there, so we're under a bridge, and through there. So it's presumably some kind of water outlet. Actually, yeah, this is a lock here, so that would be the outlet for the water.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So we're on our way back down there, and we're still wondering what the underneath bits were, because it seemed to lead to nowhere. So it's like a cave area, recess area. They're underneath what would be the top lock. So here would be the top lock, right here in front of us. And there's a pin, so presumably the gates went up to that. That's the only thing that's confused me so far about the geometry and architecture of the locks.
Wasn't this one built without a reservoir?
Yes.
So is that not a way maybe of pumping water back up to the top
I
again?
don't know. I don't know if they did
round?
pump
I don't know
any
whether they
water,
did at
they?
all. I don't know. I don't know whether they did, but
Hmm.
there's got to be a way somehow of them getting water back up to the top.
That's true.
Some
We're not canal historians, so all these questions you can put in the comments below. Where'd the water come from? Right, well, I've just found my way off the roadside into a hedge, but I think this is the alignment of the old canal. Very difficult to tell, but unless there's something over the hedge there, this is it here. There was something over the hedge. Clearly that is the canal. Now the reason why I stopped here in particular is it's supposed to be an old bridge, so I thought we might be able to get over onto the towpath and have a look. I don't know which way. Okay, it's really difficult to convey on a camera your excitement about finding a bridge. That may not have been seen in decades. I'm on a really remote bit of the canal, so no one walks here, as you can see by the towpath. There's no footpath here as to say, but I saw on the rail map online an old bridge, footbridge, and right up ahead of me it looks to be just that. Of course, first we've got to get past the hawthorn. Oh, wow. It's a bridge. I don't know why I'm getting so excited, but okay, so here's a bridge from just the other side through the gap there, and if we follow the line through here, or the canal through here up to there, you've got the road bridge over there over the railway. I think that's the Kimble to Cirencester Railway. Is it Watermore maybe? And through here you've had the old canal bridge going under the railway as well. So two bridges there. Don't know if you can still go up there, but let's have a quick peek before we head back to the car. So that pathway there goes up to the top of the railway, and through there we see the canal. Yep. Wow. So right there is the canal arch for the railway bridge. Okay, so we're now at the peak of the canal in terms of its height, its highest level above sea level, 111 metres, and also happens to be the point where we find the tunnel. So we're going to just have a look for Tallerton Bridge, which looks up towards the tunnel, and then we're going to head back down the other side towards Gloucester. Okay, time for history, people. I'll do that so you've got less of the sun. So we are on the Thames and Severn Canal today, an abandoned canal built in 1789. It was built basically, as the title says, to join the Thames and the Severn. It would be the first complete navigable waterway across the horizontal of the UK. Some of the first real true canals in the UK were only built around 1740 onwards, and just a very small handful then. There's debate of what was the first, but somewhere down here Bridgewater apparently claims to be 1740, something like that. Here we are now on the Thames and Severn Canal, built 1789. Construction started, I believe, in 1783, originally suggesting it would be about 120,000, did we say, Rebecca?
Yes, about 127,000 I think it said.
And final cost, as ever, you can pretty much... 200,000. I was going to say you could double that, but yeah, you're not far from it, are we? We only really explored one abandoned canal before this, which was the Chard Canal. That was a very, everything about it was narrow gauge, built for tubs, I believe they were called. This, however, was built to take in consideration the boats that were used on the Thames and the boats that were used on the Severn, because they were a different design and construction. I think the ones on the Severn were the biggest. They were called Trows, yes, and they were 4.4 metres or something like that wide, so very big.
They were bigger than the Thames barges.
Yeah,
Thames barges were something like 2.7 metres wide.
Right, okay.
So that's why they were the ones that were used on it.
So we are nearly approaching the tunnel, but I'm going to disappoint you because you're going to have to wait until the next video to see all about the tunnel, because we're going to do a separate video on that where we talk about all the different construction methods, and we talk about the shafts that they built there, because there was a number of those, and we're going to try and find both portals and maybe have a look inside. So join us for the next video to talk exactly about the tunnel. But in the meantime, we're going to carry on walking. We're going to carry on going over to the Supperton end, which I think was called Dane something portal. Forgive me again, and see what we can find there. More locks, I think. Right, so we're just back on the canal trail after taking a detour of the tunnel. Fantastic. We're now going to head down the other side of the hill, because obviously that was the peak of the canal, and we're going to find some more locks and any old infrastructure we can find. Interestingly, well, probably a few old buildings in here as well, because there's sort of part buildings in here, old walls. Canal takes a turn here and now heads almost west, I think. That section is all walled up over there. So what we're up on now is we're on the towpath, the old towpath. Very boggy down that section down there. And interestingly, this side, which is more like a brook, Froome Brook or something, the brook is very deep down there. So this was obviously all built up. So again, early engineering, early landscape architecture. They really built this canal on the side of this hill. So obviously this goes down the gorge all the way down the hill toward the Severn. But all of this is very heavily engineered in terms of its you know, the architecture. We're on the side of this hill, this gorge. Down there is quite steep, so we're on the towpath. All this embankment would have been a man-made embankment for the canal, clearly. So here we are, another lock. This is the first lock since the northwestern portal of Sapperton Tunnel. Not quite as deep as the others, but maybe, oh no, it's exactly the same construction, which makes sense. You've got the lip off there, so you have the locks right there, and you have the big drop down there, so it's a very steep drop there to the bottom of the lock. There we go. Cool, I don't want to get too close to that, do you?
Yeah, that seems a lot bigger. Which it would be, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Right, that's pretty much the end of our adventure for today for you guys. We're going to carry on walking down this wireless way, just to see if there's anything else, but we don't want to bore you because it's lock after lock after lock, so much of the same as what we've already filmed today. Hope you've enjoyed this slightly different adventure, the abandoned canal. We've got another 2 abandoned railway ones coming up after this, plus of course the Sapperton Tunnel one, which is very good, we think. Here's another lock. So for the time being, we're going to stand next to this lock, looking into the sun and down the big drop down there, and say thank you very much for watching. As ever, really hope you've enjoyed this. Make sure you subscribe and like and comment, because comments really help us, and tell your friends, and we'll see you next time.